Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to today's episode of the Marketing Happy Hour. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Christopher Vogelmann. We're going to talk today about simplifying your marketing by getting the technology monkey off your back, right? Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so with us, as always, is, if in this case, below, John Paduchak.
Hi, everybody.
Aren't you of Epic Win Agency and Videos Are Social? To name but a few, from the lovely state, the granite state of New Hampshire. And with us to my left, stage right, is Dr. Kayvon Kay of Simplify.zone.
Well, thank you for that introduction. Yes, I'm here, Kayvon from Simplify.zone, helping entrepreneurs implement, especially getting the tech monkey off your back kind of implementation.
Get that monkey. I think the thumbnail that I created for today looked a little bit like Planet of the Apes after I looked at it a couple of times.
Yeah, I liked the other nicer one with the stuffed animal one.
Yeah, there's the friendlier one too, but I took that one away. We could have split test, but then our audience isn't large enough to send it to a couple thousand.
Yeah, here's the thing: we went for the shock, but not the.
I went for shock. Not the warm fuzzies on this one. Yes. So in terms of, we're going to do a little bit of we're going to tell you what we're going to tell you to start out with here. So we're going to talk a little bit about learning the basics, whether to delegate or to do it yourself, to outsource as much as possible, different ways of simplifying, investing in software solutions, having a degree of platform independence, and hopefully, if we have enough time, talking about the all-in-one software versus multiple specialized tools. And that, I think, we may have to carry that over into Clubhouse, and we do have a Clubhouse set up for 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern time already. So with that in mind, who wants to go first? Because I have my drink and I haven't started it yet.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. A little Guinness. It's good for you.
It is. Mm-hmm. It's not Scottish though; it's Irish.
Well, I know.
But I know. You're in the right
part of me wants to just say, if it's not Scottish, it's crap.
That's typically what they say.
But the top of the morning to you, those of you on the other side of the planet.
Yes.
Is that better?
Yeah, that was very good.
Breakfast.
That was very good.
Breakfast of champions.
Yes, indeed. So I don't know. I can start.
Why don't you start, John, with the thing about the.
This is kind of my specialty. This is what.
The basics.
Come to me with is their technology monkeys and trying to figure them out. And there's kind of a lot of ways to go through this, and I think we mentioned kind of the top ones, but some of them are like super easy. We shouldn't let like the technology monkeys get us down or make us afraid. You got to just kind of take steps to move forward.
Such as?
Well, I think the first one on our list was starting out and just exploring other options to get by a technology obstacle. Maybe it's a piece of software. Maybe it's hiring that out because it's not in your zone of brilliance. There's a number of kind of first steps that we could take. Those are usually like the two better ones.
Well, in your area, your zone of brilliance is video marketing and in particular live video broadcasting. So what are the things, just a short summary of the things that you do to get the technology monkey off the back of your client?
Yeah, so it might be really simple to hire it out. I mean, that's how I get a lot of work. People don't like doing a particular thing with video, so they call me to help them get through it. They also have technology issues along the way with different things that are associated with video, like maybe something with their website, or how do I create this simple video on my own from time to time. And so those are things that are best done with maybe finding a piece of software to do that with.
I mean, are you talking about software as in live broadcasting platforms or other things, or what are you talking about?
No, I mean, it could be something like an InVideo or Vidnami, or one of those little pieces of software that allow you to make kind of a simple video. It could be even as simple as just creating a little PowerPoint and screen recording it, Camtasia or something along that line. So I mean, there's a lot of ways to get through little regular challenges with video that I teach people. And then stuff that's more complicated, it's best to get an expert to help you out with it. Either me, somebody from Fiverr, if it's something like super, super simple. So there's a lot of, even Upwork is another one. There's a lot of different places that you can go to get help with things.
So you're in the camp of send it out to have somebody else do it.
Yeah, if it's not something that's typically in your wheelhouse, it might be better off to send it out to somebody else to do it. If it's something that inevitably you need to learn, then gosh, there's lots of great tutorials on YouTube that you can dig into. We have courses and different things that people can get started out with. So
I think
learning is usually not the issue. It's a matter of best way to manage your resources, personal resources, money resources, time resources, and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And your speed to market too, because if you're doing everything on your own, it's probably going to be a slow process.
Very slow process.
So Kayvon, so it was interesting. You brought up something earlier when we were chatting prior to going live, and that was the notion of the platforms. And I think it's interesting to see all the different platforms that are out there. There's Kajabi, there's a number of things. And I think all three of us actually have Groove, for example. And the question is, are we better off having an integrated platform, like an all-in-one solution, or are we better off having independent solutions that we string together?
Yeah, and I think Groove would be an exemption from that example, because Groove is a combination of a bunch of different apps that they stand alone together, but they're under the same family kind of a thing. So when I say an all-in-one app or service or solution, software, that kind of a thing, it's like that this is going to be your CRM and, I don't know, web page builder and a bunch of other things, and also
landing page, CRM, the whole thing.
Yeah, and those features, if you are happy with minimal and not sophisticated, not many features, they could work. I remember I used to have this email service, sort of like MailChimp, another one. I always forget their names.
Entreport?
No.
Okay.
No. Anyway. So they did, that kind of a landing page and that sort of thing. And for small ones, it was fine. Yet you don't get the flexibility and also the optimization / automation that comes with it. Because let's say if I'm using, bless you, Chris. So for example, I don't know if Lead Pages has this right now or not. I haven't been using Lead Pages for many years, but Lead Pages is just that. It's just about making pages. So therefore, things like integration with Zapier and Google Drive and that sort of thing is much more inherent. Calendly actually is a good example. Calendly is just about calendar management and appointment management and integration with Zoom and your other things, and Zapier, automations, workflows, and all of that is going to be a lot more easier to set up, and automations for all of the things that they're going to come up later, rather than it was just the appointment feature in your CRM, which is most probably just booking the appointment. Is the rescheduling feature there? What happens when they cancel? Did we get the appointment removed from the calendar? What about the follow-ups? Can I include a questionnaire first? Not. So I usually like to go with specialized tools for different needs because of the functionality that they have. With the size of like my business, which is one person or I guess up to 5, the interconnectivity is not that big of a deal. And the reason that I like Groove was it was like you have Groove Mail, Groove Pages, Groove Cart. They are separate, parallel kind of a thing under the same roof. And the deal that you get with all of that. So those are the things that I consider that when I want to get a piece of software. When talking about automation, if you're going to test only one thing or find that one functionality, always see if there is connectivity with Zapier. That's a good one, because if there is no connectivity with Zapier, and by the way, lots of people call it Zapier or Zapier, and on their website they say it's Zapier, like happier. Okay, so it's Zapier.
So you'll get if you're getting zappy, you'll be all happy.
There you go. Yeah, because you create a bunch of zaps, not zapes.
Yeah, zape sounds more like vapes, and that could
No.
produce a bunch of carcinogens and other things.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, if there is connectivity with Zapier, or in my case, I try to do everything on Google Universe.
Yes.
So connectivity with my Google accounts and Google Calendar and that sort of thing. So that's my mindset when it goes to choosing pieces of application and software and that sort of thing.
Well, so with respect to the Tech Monkey, you don't really have to spend a lot of money to get the results that you want. I think your example of using Google Apps is pretty cool. I remember our mutual friend James Schramko switched everything in his entire business into the Googleverse because he wanted to be able to travel the world and run his entire business from his cell phone.
Yeah, and that is a good reason. The Gmail app works really well. Like I don't know if you guys know this or not. So because of the different companies that I work with, I have multiple Google Works accounts, and so here's my interface. Of course, it's inbox 0. I don't have anything. But if I show you this,
unlike mine, which has 14,000.
So you see, I have multiple accounts.
Yes.
Over there, and I love this feature that you can go to inbox and check what's going on in this inbox. And on the app, there is a feature called all inboxes. So in one shot, it checks. So these are all the emails in all of those 6 or 7 boxes, all in one page, and I just take care of them and go that way. So that works really well.
For me too. I use the exact same system.
So that's why we brought both of you in, the simplifier and the implementation coach,
there you go.
along with the easy video guy.
We concur.
Yes. In this case, do as I do.
Yeah, as well as how you say what you're saying.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about that. Let's go to the question that we were looking at before about the delegation, the do or delegate. I mean, it sounds like, if you're a one-man shop or one-woman shop, whatever it is, that you're going to have to do a lot as opposed to delegating everything, unless you eventually get a team of people, either VAs or all. What's the benefit of, say, going for the VAs versus going after people on Fiverr?
Fiverr, you mean?
Fiverr, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of I think of high fiver or favor. Somebody's got to do me a favor and continue this broadcast.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a particular one way or the other with that. I think it's more along the lines of you could get contractors that you use regularly on Fiverr as if they're your VAs, or you could, or with a VA, it's somebody that you work with closer, almost like an employee. So I don't think there's a lot of difference between those two.
I have something to add to that, and also one thing to warn us about. So sometimes you have like a one-time task. Yeah, it really doesn't matter where. Then that you have a bunch of different type of tasks that you always want to delegate or outsource. So you can find a company that does a bunch of those things. So basically, you just send them a task and they take care of it. Like Floxy is a good example. They do some graphic design, they do some web page design, they do copywriting. For one person, you just send it to them and they do that. So there are a bunch of different ones. At the same time, you have VA companies or outsourcing companies that they're specialized in something. Like Design Pickle that I used for a long time. All they do is graphic stuff. They can just take care of that, and I think they were adding some video editing, but again in the sort of design kind of a universe. So we have specialized VA, generalist VA companies, and there is also this idea of working with a person or a company / service provider. And I always prefer the company because with one person, there is always this danger of, well, what if they get sick or they move or they don't want to do this anymore? And suddenly so many things that has been dependent on them, I now have to get somebody else and train them and all of that. But when I'm working with a company, it doesn't matter how many people come and go. they all have access to your previous records and that sort of thing. And also this keeps you on your toes to be very precise, concise, clear, and to the point with your instructions. Because when you work with someone for a long time, we move into that laziness of, they know what I'm talking about, I just say it. So we go away from clarity. So I prefer companies over individuals for that safety reason. And depending on the kind of a business that you do, either a specialized outsourcing company or generalized.
I was going to say the one place that I differ a little bit on that is that I have worked with some companies on different things, and oftentimes if something happens, somebody drops a ball, sometimes they don't have somebody to jump in and just take that over. So the way that I've handled that in the past is, and sometimes they do, so sometimes it works out okay. Mm-hmm. But I think it's important to have like multiple outsourcers that you like in a particular area, so that you still have that ability to kind of go to another go-to person that does good work.
Yeah.
So I would say prepare both ways just in case.
Yeah, that's a safe method to approach it anyway.
Yeah, we've had numerous virtual assistants, but also physical assistants who actually lived here in the San Diego area. And I will say we've had some, it's been good luck and bad luck when it comes to having VAs. I will say that, we had a couple of times when the virtual assistants in the Philippines would just disappear. And we had no idea where they were or what they were doing. And that was disconcerting. But over the last several years, we found people both here in the U.S. as well as in the Philippines and even in the rest of North America, Canada and Mexico, who have been with us for, I think, going on 3 years now. And so there's a certain solidity that can take place over time, but it's based on know, like, and trust of your employees, even if they're contract employees.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I do, now that we're talking about the concept of do versus delegate, a while ago, a few years ago, I created a little guideline / infographic for it. So if I can share my screen, I can bring that up and we can go over it together.
I know. Can you share your screen? That's a good question. Can I give Kayvon the screen? I don't know how that works. And
let me see.
Let's find out. Maybe I can go on the highlight here. I can block you from the studio. Oh, there it is. You do have it there. I'm going to add it right in there. Ta-da! Do you want it here, or do you want to see your lovely face?
Yeah, I want to see our lovely faces.
Our lovely faces. Okay.
Yeah. Good. I have options to zoom in and zoom out and that sort of thing?
I don't know. I would think that would be from your own screen.
Yeah, I don't see it. Let me hold on a second. Let me make this here.
It's working, except it's in a vertical format, so we're seeing parts of it. Yeah. To do or delegate, that is the question.
Yeah. So. To do or delegate, that is the question. So it's a basically simple process. Is this task important?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no? If it's no, is it urgent? Is it still no? Just delete it. You don't need to do that. Eliminate that task. That is neither important nor urgent, right? But if it's not important, right? No, if it's important and you want to get it done, are you the right person to do it? And I like to ask that question, are you really? Because there is that idea of we being expert in something or just being able to get it done. Like, look at this image right here. This is something that I did based on one of the templates in Canva. I'm not a graphic designer, and this took me a long time, and it still doesn't look that, professional.
I can fix it for you later. Don't worry.
Thank you. So are you really, are you the right person to do this? Are you really? I should have said no, but in that case, I said yes. But doesn't matter. So if the answer to that question is no, is it urgent? And yes, then you need to go ahead and delegate it / outsource it. Mm-hmm. Are you the right person to do it? Yes. Well, is it urgent? It's the same question. If it's yes, well, you do it now. If it's no, you defer it to another time. You schedule it. So basically, these are the options. You either with a task, and this also can apply to the project level as well. You either want to do it, defer it, delegate it, or completely deleted. So with 2 or 3 simple questions, I go through this process and I help my clients to basically what I call simplified task management, to go over things and get things done. So how does this look? And do you have any question?
I like it. I think, one of the things that comes to mind is that I know that John and I, and you probably have done this too, have purchased a lot of different digital courses. I've purchased things on SEO, on Facebook advertising, and a number of different things. And I will say there is some benefit to learning these types of things, at least on a 35,000 foot view, such that you can become what Cy Sims used to call an educated consumer. Yes. Because then you can go out and you can figure out if you do go to Fiverr or you do hire a VA, if they're just kind of BSing you or if they really know their stuff.
And when they do it, are they doing a good job or not? On your management level also allows you to delegate properly. Like every small business person needs to know the, as you said, 34,000 view, the basics of accounting. So you can talk to an accountant in a language that you can communicate, and they do what you want to get done. So I agree with that.
And every small person needs to have a lot of knowledge too, because the big people can step on you.
Well, I'm one of the big people, so
you're the
I don't
big
have that problem.
The big man. We got the big man here.
Yes. So
the CrossFit champion.
Yes. So there you go. I was going to remove that from the screen. Thank you for.
I'm at your service for this entire broadcast here. Yes. So we're about I think we got about 7 minutes left or so. Are there other things that you want to address? In fact, what I might do, let me put this one back up again and see if we can take a peek at it. We're going to look at, there it goes again. So we talked about learning the basics, the do or delegate, outsource as much as possible, as John said, unless it's in your zone of genius. Oh, look, I got the little dot has come back again. Hello, little dot. We talked about investing in software solutions, the all-in-one versus multiple specialized tools. Now, this one was yours, Kayvon, which was platform independence, which I found to be kind of interesting. Let's talk a little bit about not being dependent on any particular platform.
So I myself, I have a Chromebook, Apple Book, and my Android phone. And I don't want to have 3 different experiences when it comes to my tools and applications, right? Or people that you work with, they may be on Windows, you are Mac, or vice versa. So choosing tools that they are platform independent becomes important for the seamlessness of the activity and communication. And that's why, like back in 2006, I started to pay attention to do everything in my browser. Because and now with Chrome, lots of things is just happening in the Chrome. So basically, if there is a platform that I can run Chrome on it, I should be able to run my business from it. And with the web apps and SaaS and that sort of thing, less and less dependent on the local computer and less dependent on specific tool installations. If the things can be run via web, that's the preferred way for me.
Interesting. I was about to interject something, and John knows about my long-suffering relationship over the last month of July with Chrome, in that it has continually been freezing on my computer, and I've gotten rid of all kinds of application memory. I've uninstalled, reinstalled Chrome, and I found that I needed to have some redundancy built in, and so I've been using a lot more of Firefox and Safari if Chrome keeps freezing on me, which is sad because many of the extensions that I love to use are Chrome only.
Yes.
So,
and speaking of extensions, I agree with what you're saying. Having the backup thing is what John said before. Having a contingency
redundancy.
Redundancy. But as far as technology or extensions, any kind of things, I like to do an audit. I don't know, every few months or so. Basically, I just log into the extension part of the settings. And if there are ones that I'm not using, I just delete them. Or you have the options to turn them off, because the more of them running simultaneously, we will have, issues like what you had. Chrome may start freezing or breaking and that sort of thing. So, with the
actually, the turning off is a good suggestion, but most of mine are off. I think. Well, no, I'm looking at some that they're not active, but they're still sitting in my little menu bar at the top.
Yeah. You should try deactivating them and see what happens. Take
Good
them
idea.
all off and put them on.
Hey, it's nice. It's nice to have a help desk here.
It's
on
kind
the
of like
Marketing
working
Happy
with
Hour.
WordPress. You know, like if something goes wrong with your site, you want to disable all the plugins and start adding them back one by one. And
I used to do that with patients if they were having some horrible digestive issues or immune system issues. I took them off of everything, and then I gradually added things back into their diet, like wheat, or maybe tomatoes or other things like that. And I waited for the reaction. So if I treat my browser as if it was a patient of mine, I might have better results.
There you go.
Yeah.
You should try
you realize, it's tomato that makes you explode.
It was the tomato that made it. I just bought a bunch of tomatoes at a local grocery store, and so I could just throw them at my computer and see if that makes a difference.
So, I'm glad you actually brought that up, because sometimes it happens with some of the things that we have difficulty with technology. And so if you're having trouble with a particular thing, try something else and see if it takes care of that.
Make sure the cord is plugged into your computer if it won't go on.
Yeah. I saw one of these videos on YouTube, which was about the stupid mistakes that people make. So somebody got a text from a stranger. Hey, the computer I just bought from you doesn't work. He said, well, did you turn it on? Yeah. What do you mean? He said, the big button. Yeah, I pressed it. Still doesn't work. Well, make sure the cord is attached to it and, plug to the wall. He says, and the text come back, let me get a flashlight. He says, hold on a second. Why do you need a flashlight? Because we don't have electricity.
It's always good. And we're just about at the end of our time here. We're going to continue this on Clubhouse. The bizarre thing is that I left my phone in the car, and so I have to start the Clubhouse.
Well, we'll give you time to get there.
I'm going to have to run downstairs and run back up again. But in summary today, we were talking about getting that tech monkey off of your back. I may just put it back up here again for those of you who are watching. And most of you do see this on replay, which I'm totally fine with. So, and in fact, when you do, whoops, did I just leave it out of there? I was going to add it to the stream. There we go. So for those of you who are watching us later, please let us know with the hashtag replay. We talked about learning the basics of getting that technology monkey off your back, the do or delegate, outsourcing things away from your zone of brilliance, and then investing in the different software solutions, the platform independence, and of course, the all-in-one software versus multiple specialized tools. Anything else to add, gentlemen, before we go to the House of Clubs?
I got something. As I was thinking, I said, the one thing that usually people will look at, I really should outsource this task, but I don't want to spend the money to do it. And what do we usually say to that? You want to really thoroughly analyze what it would cost you and the amount of time and hours and everything of you not being able to do it yourself to paying for it to happen in 5 minutes.
Yep.
So
yeah, people say I cannot afford. I still cannot afford to outsource this, and my response is just that you cannot afford because you're not outsourcing it.
Yeah, or you can't afford to not outsource it because
Yep.
it's killing your business. So that's everything.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you don't kill your business. Take that technology monkey off your back, according to the wise words of John Paduchak of Videos Are Social, Dr. Kayvon Kay of Simplify.zone, and me, because I think I'm about to be alone because I don't have my phone.
Oh, no.
Sad. All right. We'll be back again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on a Wednesday, our Hump Day Happy Hour. If it's Wednesday, it's time for the Marketing Happy Hour. If you have any suggestions or any questions, put them down below this video, and we'll add them to our repertoire and future broadcasts. Okay. That's it for now. We'll see you later in a week.
And in the Clubhouse.
That's right. Come over to Clubhouse. Same title. Get that technology monkey off your back.